here for a tent.
We're gonna have to figure it out.
We could do it 1 hour.
We're gonna have to figure it out though, because service out there is terrible.
I wouldn't. Well, you know what? Yeah, there's the internet issue. I mean, then we're using not.
We have to get on Morehouse Wi-Fi. Like somebody's
well, either that, or we're gonna have to use a hotspot and really hope it holds up. I don't know. Maybe not a good idea. It was just food for thought.
Fair enough. But hey, Parlay P, what's up? What's happening?
Nothing much, brother. How are we doing today?
Man, not too bad. Not too bad. How's my audio?
It's funny because we asked each other how we're doing as if we haven't been fucking texting all day, and then we spoke for like an hour earlier. Yeah.
We ask these questions as if we don't communicate on a regular basis as friends and as podcast co-hosts. And hang
this is made for TV at that point, you know?
We're faking it, guys. I know how he's doing. and like, this is a little bit behind the scenes. We never tell the truth about how we're doing on the show.
Well, because we're doing good, regardless, one way or another. We are doing good, though. That's true, though. Yeah. That is true.
Yeah.
Things could be in hell, and we're still doing good.
I mean, yeah.
If you're not rock bottom, you're not doing bad. So.
No, and how many people have kicked out of a rock bottom? Not many.
Not many. Not many. I got damn close, it felt like, but.
I was talking about the wrestling move.
Aha.
Kicking out of a rock bottom.
Hogan did in WrestleMania 18.
You know, the Big Show was like the only wrestler to kick out of a people's elbow.
Really?
In The Rock's prime. Now, I don't know about the new stuff.
I feel like Stone Cold had to at least once.
In the mid-2000s, when The Rock was like getting ready to be an actor and stop wrestling full time, Big Show was the first person. And to think about it, the people's elbow is a low-key weak finisher.
Yeah, it's the same thing as Hogan's leg
drop.
Yeah, it's a weak finishing move. It's just supposed to be, because that's like Hogan's literal finishing move. Like The Rock has the rock bottom, right?
And he has a sharpshooter.
Hogan kicks you with his leg, you fall to the ground, and then he's doing all this, and then he goes across the rope and then drops his leg on you. I get it, he's a big man, but they're all big men. So,
you know, the finishers that I think actually hurt, I wouldn't even call it a finisher. Signature move. Old school Undertaker. That man twisting your arm around and then walking on the top turnbuckle and then
tightrope.
Then jumping at 6'10", 300 pounds. Nah, bro, that hurts.
The RKO has to hurt. If he uses all of his force to literally bring you down that quick, you're hitting your head so hard.
Stunner.
The stunner, yeah, I was about to say the stunner should have fucking hurt.
Anything
stretches you at the right moment and kicks you in your chin.
Yes.
You probably, because that's the equivalent of like a UFC move in like somebody kicking you in the face. I mean, so
let's see what else.
Like a choke slam to me wouldn't hurt that bad because your back is taking all the impact and it's just like getting tackled really hard or something.
A power bomb or choke slam off the top rope. Yes.
Off the top rope. There's so much force and speed and like impact. Like
the Chris Benoit headbutt that hurt.
We know that hurt. we know Benoit's headbutt hurt plenty of people. Like the sharpshooter, we used to try and do like walls of Jericho and sharpshooter. And I guess I could see, because if you're bending somebody's body enough and they're not flexible, to how that could hurt you. But like those are moves, it's just like, it's like, how are you really in pain?
Crippler crossface hurts. The crippler crossface, that hurts.
Yeah, well, because you're bending somebody's arm back.
Well, no. The Chris Benoit where he had his hands across your face and he's
so is your.
Oh yeah, he does have the arm.
He's got your So like that's a wrestling move. So like I could see how those hurt, but the grabbing somebody's legs and you're sitting on top, maybe I don't know. We used to do it as kids.
What about the Rikishi finisher?
It's just disgusting. You're just disgusted after that happens.
I'll tell you an embarrassing story real quick. Growing up, we used to wrestle, obviously. And one of my cousins, who was once fat, hit me with the Rikishi, and this nigga farted in my face, dog.
That is disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting. And you're just like,
how dare you?
It's like I'm actually out for the count, bro. You bare ass farted in my face.
Yeah.
Probably not something you should share on a stream online, but
well,
I was a kid.
It'll be okay. I mean,
it's kids having fun.
We used to in the family room, which is so funny because honestly, I'm at my dad's house. In the family room, we used to. So we had like a desk set up in here to where we could like jump on to the couch to where we could do like the jumping moves.
Were y'all allowed to do that, or did y'all just do it?
I mean, they never really knew, but like,
so yeah,
because I'm not trying to be funny. Like even at that age, you start talking about if Justice is 8 or 9, I'm 10, 11, Taurus is 12, 13. Like we use pillows as steel chairs. Like they're probably happy we're not. Now, granted, at that age, I feel like kids are kind of more on their own anyways if they're playing games, going outside. But they didn't. It's not like they have to deal with us. They could do what they want to do. Then they know that we're going to like.
Y'all
stupid. Yeah.
Hey, before we get into our first topic, how different do you think your dynamic in the house would be if you sub a middle kid out for a sister?
Completely. I mean, it's so hard because like the closest thing I have to saying I have a sister, I have a niece. I don't look at my niece as like my sister. Now, Justice, it could be a little different, but I don't look at her that way. Like I am, let's see, she's 19. I'm 12 years. So it's weird because the distance between me and her in age is the same between me and my oldest brother. I don't really look at us though, because I didn't grow up with her. Now they like went to the same school. So I can see how that dynamic for him is different. I don't look at her that way. I look at her as I'm her uncle. I'm just her younger uncle. But like the closest thing to having a sister in an odd way is me having my daughter, because it's not that I don't treat her like my sister, but I'm just saying the whole way of how I would handle a
younger sister.
Well, and in our case, that would be almost an older sister because I'm not, I'm not the middle. I mean, now I kind of am because I have another younger brother, but like, but I don't, honestly, I don't know how that would go. That's
the answer I was looking for. I was hoping you wouldn't have some like definitive answer, and I'd be like,
I have no idea how that would feel.
Okay, there we go. My mouth was way too far away from the mic because I did not like how my audio was sounding. I apologize.
Lakers are getting smoked early, by the way.
Oh, really? I'm watching ESPN. I don't think I renewed my league pass this year.
I'm just looking at the scores, but they're in
Cleveland.
Yeah, well, because Bronny obviously is, which I know we'll probably get to that maybe a little, but Bronny's, because they got to share the floor in Cleveland.
Got to.
Maybe Cleveland's hoping, well, let's just blow them out so they can do it early or late in the game. And then Bronny will probably actually play some more minutes too in that scenario.
Maybe we can see more than swing. Because apparently
they were up like 12 on Minnesota on opening night when they did that in the second. And they're like, okay, this is a time that we can do this.
How did you feel about that whole swing motherfucker to Rui?
I think LeBron can kind of do what he wants. I mean, especially in that moment.
Yeah, you got
the stat line was for the quarter: 15, 5, 100% shooting.
Yeah, and you shot without me touching the ball.
I'm not mad at LeBron.
No, I somebody said that to me, and I could be wrong, and I could be borderline racist for this, but I just thought it was a cultural barrier.
I mean, Rui's been his teammate now. They didn't trade for him last year, so he's been there 2 years.
This is his third year.
Yeah, so
he was in that Russ trade to get him. Yeah, when they got rid of Russ and brought in D'Lo, I think he came in.
And people forget Rui Hachimura was a good player at Gonzaga, so it's not like
people forget Rui Hachimura almost didn't get into Gonzaga because he was coming from Japan and could not speak English. And they were like, you can't go to school here, buddy. We are a place of higher education. That's why I say the cultural barrier.
And sure, like I could see, yeah, but like I think that was just more of Bron saying,
what the fuck are you doing?
Y'all should know that, like, if I'm hot, to give me the ball. It's always a heat check moment when any of the if not just the best player on the team, but when I'm like a GOAT or something like that.
But not even like in the same situation. If it's Rui who had that stat line, now he couldn't check LeBron like that. Not the way that LeBron checked him. But if Rui was doing what LeBron was doing and LeBron took a bad shot and they come to the sideline, he can be like, hey, Bron, I'm hot. That's all he can do, though. He can't go swing, motherfucker.
Right.
Because that's the meaning.
Yeah. And so I didn't have an issue with it.
Me neither. But anyways, man, we're 10 minutes in. Coming off homecoming week. Happy homecoming to Spellhouse. Shout out to class of 2014, our 10-year reunion. I almost didn't get up there to see y'all because I don't really rock with y'all like that, but I kind of do. It's just, it's complicated. But no, it was a great time, man. I enjoyed getting out there. Shout out to Marv, shout out to Josh, shout out to Chris, shout out to Boink. I'm not going to shout out Parlay Pete because I talk to him every week and see him every other week at the least. Shout out to my cousin Jasmine for pulling up. I think it was a nice time. I know you haven't walked that much in forever, so happy I could get you some good cardio. And hopefully you had some fun.
So I did not, it's funny because you brought up your cousin. I did not remember meeting your cousin ever. But we actually, because when we were all in that crowd at that one point, like I told her, I was like, man, I'm about to walk back around this way because I was like, there's no way. I was like, how long it's going to take us to get here, and then how the gate situation even was to get them. I was like, we're going to be faster going this way. I have no idea if we beat y'all over there because we ended up going just to my tent. But I got to talk with her and find out a lot about like her in general. For one, I didn't know that you guys went to school because I didn't know if she was an older or younger cousin. But then two, everything about her, I didn't know this. So like we had a pretty good conversation. So yeah, shout out to your cousin.
Hey, it better not be too decent.
It wasn't like that, man. It wasn't like that. Trust me, if it was, I would let it be known. But like
if it was, I wouldn't care. Nigga, she's 33.
Yeah.
Bro, what's somebody look like checking a dude for talking to their cousin in their 30s? Like, hey, bro.
No, I'm just as a family. I just am putting it out there. But we did have a good conversation. Great conversation, to be honest with you. It really was. But like
that's the closest thing to a sister. Like I have biological sisters who I did not grow up with.
Because she said y'all went to school together. That's why I'm like, okay, y'all are the same age. I'm like, that's what's up. And then I was like, so is it your mom or dad that's related? Like, and it's her dad, right? So that's her uncle.
Yeah, so me and her dad are like super tight. He actually just left out. He actually watches the show sometimes, but he just left out the PA for some work stuff because he's a Cowboys fan. So I was gonna bring him to the game Sunday.
Oh,
but
but she's great. Like I mean,
good people.
Yeah.
Hey, but did our homecoming look like the club? The sections, the restricted entries, it's kind of hard to move around in here.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to compare it. It was I'll say this much, and I'll leave it at this because I don't want to get too deep into it. And I told Jew, because Jew obviously was like, he's like, how was it? All this other stuff. And maybe it's because I didn't go last year, and then the year before that when I went, that wasn't the year that we were all together.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, 2 years ago.
So we got there kind of late that year too.
Oh, no, you had a terrible day.
Well, it started off really bad.
Yeah, and you got the tailgate super late.
And so I was kind of in a weird way. I was a little checked out anyways, but like, maybe because it felt like now at that point, yeah, kind of is like a 2-year hiatus to a degree. this was the most talent I felt like I saw at a tailgate. And I could be tripping. Like, I might be tripping. But, like,
I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to hold you.
I thought it was, man, I thought that it was a lot of talent out there.
Nah, it was very talented out there. I would say as an observer who was cautiously observing, I mean, my God, you know, sometimes, I mean, you just smell the chicken shack when you walk by, you know what I mean? You may not want no bird, you may not be looking for it, but you can still smell it, you know.
Hey, ain't nothing like when you see some breasts and thighs dropped into some oil. Because you know, and you smell it, it's the aroma, it's a lot going on. And that's what was going on.
Small.
It was a lot of fried.
Yeah, it was extremely talented out there. And I can say if you were a single man, if you weren't out there shooting, you're wild. And you remember I told you on Friday, it really was Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. I mean, pick your generation.
Oh, yeah. From the people you could clearly tell were alumna of Spelman. Could have been some Clark out there, obviously. It was a generational thing going on.
Yeah, it was what I loved about it was just seeing so many beautiful black people together, and it was harmonious. You know, I'm sure there were little scuffles here and there just because, I mean, some of those Morehouse, we need to talk about process improvement over here. I know y'all don't have any Six Sigma people in there because your choke points were bad, really bad choke points. Like, hey, let's use this natural gate that's never used as the single point of entry into an area.
Yeah, because there was no other. That was the only way to get in or get out, and they could have done a much better job. And you would have thought that somebody on campus would have came up with a better solution for that, whether that be, well, maybe let's knock down a piece. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but like,
bro, you could have like cut out a piece of that fence at Ray Pack. You could have just like had somebody come in there and like saw out a piece of that fence.
Or oddly enough, I don't know if there was a door on that other side. Just open up Ray Pack and keep it belted off from going any further. And
open up the building
and had extra security there because you wouldn't want anyone in. But I don't know. They could have did something better.
And then last complaint, because it was all in all, it was a great day. They stopped letting people in towards the evening time, saying that the campus was at capacity. And I'm like, no, it's not at capacity because people are leaving.
People are coming and going anyways.
Bro, it was at capacity.
But even during, I'm just saying, there might have been somebody that showed up for the game and left. Like, they went to the game and left. There was people that had been there since early that were like, I'm done. There were people that showed up late that would just wanted to come in. Like, people are always coming and going at these type of events.
And there were some students who were in Purdue knocked out at 3:00 because they had a long night coronation and they decided to get started early in the day. And then they hit that hot sun and they said, oh, no, I'm donezo.
Yeah, it's not going to work today.
You know, but all in all, man, homecoming was good. It was great to come home. Shout out to my peoples who I saw. Didn't really take many pictures. And I'm okay with that because I was having fun. And I closed out all my rings.
Yeah, I didn't see as many people as I thought, but I knew a lot, at least for my class, at least. Like, I knew that there were quite a few people that weren't going to go just because they
y'all's 10 years older.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense for y'all to be light this year. For y'all to be light because your 10 years next year, and you got to think about people traveling from all over and using that PTO. And it's like, do I want to use my Thanksgiving PTO for homecoming or nah, you know? But anyways, we're actually here to talk about some sports. We don't want to bore y'all with HBCU homecoming.
Yeah, because that doesn't mean shit, especially in the college football ranks.
So no, because does anybody go back for UGA's homecoming?
I'm sure they do. But, like, the real question is this. What was the score of the Morehouse game and who was the opponent? We'll never know.
Fort Valley was the opponent.
Do you know the score?
Didn't know they played a game.
Let me tell you, there are so many people there that have no idea about either of those questions. I'm glad you could answer 50% of it. But if you had to poll everybody there, hey, who are we playing today?
Is there a football
they,
game?
they would have said who's playing.
Playing what?
They're like, is it Morehouse and Spelman? And it's like, well, Spelman's an all-girls school. You know, like, well, I thought the game was going on out here. And I would have told them it is going on out here.
Hey, shout out to Miles now, man. Out there getting money as students.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Miles Mayfield.
Yeah. Hi, Zoe. I got Joel back in one piece, I hope. Pause if necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I love it.
Do we want to go NFL recap or NBA overreactions?
Oh, we got to start off with Falcons first. That's why we're here.
You know what? Actually,
Here's what we're doing. We're gonna run the piss out of this football. Hey, I got you. We're getting ready to run the piss out of football. Trying to get going. I got you.
hey, real quick before we dive into Falcons first, this is Falcons first related. Do you silently root for DQ because we both believe he's a good coach who was just kind of screwed over by a salary cap situation in a situation and Kyle Shanahan?
He was screwed over by salary cap, but like that to me wasn't his issue. The biggest issue was that he had a time management issue, and now he's had years to reflect on it, and I think he's learned from it. So, like, yeah, I root for DQ. Like DQ bought so much joy. He bought every Falcons team, it feels like has their own aura / like identity. That's the Brotherhood Falcons. You know, the 98 team was the Dirty Birds. The Jerry Glanville team with Dion was the two legit guys. Every team has their aura.
What about the Mike Smith Falcons?
So they had D-Block.
Okay.
You know, they did. That was the thing, though. D-Block, Matt Ryan playing the guitar in the locker room as like a second year. They had their own little thing, too. But that's the Brotherhood Falcons. So, yeah, of course I root for
and I think that was the best Falcons team we've ever had, by the way.
Agreed. I agree, too. Like, I agree. Now, I'm going to be honest. That 2012 team, if we had won, I know that Joe Flacco was on a tear, but I think we could have beat them.
Ray Lewis coming back from that surgery miraculously.
That 49ers team wasn't – they weren't you know why they beat us? They beat us because Vernon Davis had like a huge second half. And
no, they beat us because
off the court. Frank,
that was kind of when we started just blowing second half leads because we kicked their ass first half. Well, I remember
even Seattle the week before, we had a big lead on them. They came back and were about to win the game. And that was the day I gained respect for Russell Wilson, which we'll get to him when we get to the NFL and Arthur Smith because they're now a duo. But that was the day I gained respect. I promise you, that's the first day. Like,
we'll get back to Russ. We'll get back to Russ
and all this other stuff.
You know, I just want to take this time to shout out DQ and shit on Kyle Shanahan because the crazy thing is Kyle Shanahan is viewed as a top tier NFL head coach, but in the 3 Super Bowls where Kyle Shanahan has had the opportunity to make something happen, he's not learned from his mistakes.
Lakers are down 23, by the way, in the second quarter. But
okay, we can put a pin in that one, and Indy's up.
In now,
might as well. Pascal Siakam for 3. Anyway, on the Falcons first. Hey, when we got our ass kicked by Seattle, we came on the show and said it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if the Buccaneers win or not, which they got the shit kicked out of them by Baltimore on Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, whenever that game was. I don't know. Primetime game. Monday night, that's right. And it didn't matter because you got to see us. And we're 4-0 in the division. And honestly, for being honest, we kicked their ass, had a bad fumble up 14, which turned into 2 points. They followed up with a score. We had a dead
Kind
drive.
of a garbage time-esque touchdown.
Yeah, it was.
We wanted clock to run.
The game looked closer than it was. If we don't fumble that ball, even if we just go 3 and out and punt it, which it didn't look like we would based on how we'd been playing throughout the entire game, we beat them by 2 touchdowns, maybe 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Younghoe Koo is not. Him and Justin Tucker, man.
They've been off.
Yeah. They've been clutch and they've been off.
Yeah, they've been off. I mean,
they're not great, no legs, but
whoa. Well, that's a different kind of off. As far as now I'm concerned, based on the injury report, it was an injury thing. He's got a knee injury. That's why his leg's not kicking so well. But no, Coots he missed a field goal in the Seattle game the week before. And that was right before or it was in the second quarter, and we kind of needed it.
Yeah.
We just missed it. And that's indoors. I don't know what the wind. I don't think the wind was bad in Tampa, but yeah, he's been shaky. Now, granted, he made the game winner against New Orleans. He made the clutch ones against Tampa the first time, but to send it into OT, because that was a 57 yarder that he hit to send it to OT.
And he missed.
I'm not gonna shit on him, but he might be needed. Look, Rodrigo Blankenship's about to have some competition on starting up a podcast or whatever he's doing, kicking field goals from game. YouTube channel.
UGA meets Southern.
Hey, look, they're all
programs in the state.
Hey, they're all Georgia. So, but yeah, no, that was a little shaky. But at the end of the day, we prevailed. We did what we were supposed to do. Vegas kind of gave us no respect in terms of the spread. It was they covered. It was 2.5. They covered, but I thought that we should have won that game, and we did. Kirk Cousins first half shred. He had 3 touchdowns over 200 yards first half. So he picked up where he left off, and I think that they had put together a graphic on the 4-letter that said him, Dan Marino, and Y.A. Tittle are the only people. And I said Dan Marino, did I? Dan Marino, Y.A. Tittle, and Joe Montana is who it was.
I thought
they're the only 4 quarterbacks to have 750 yards passing and 7 touchdowns in a season against a single opponent.
And shit, Kirk has 8? He had 8 against Tampa.
I know he 500 first. I don't know if he got to 300. He was close. It was 8
touchdowns. 8 touchdowns.
5. Oh, yeah, right? 4 and 4. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 4 and 4. Yeah, whatever. A lot.
Yeah.
And he was on my bench on one of my fantasy teams. I had I think Mr. Hurt Jordan Love. Different league, but nonetheless.
I got him in another one too. I have him in that and the other one that we're in. That's my quarterback. So
trumped up charges. They're doing great things out here.
Yeah. I heard about them.
So did Kamala.
Yeah, well. You sure she wasn't dancing with Beyonce?
I'll talk about her getting up there with TD and
Yeah, and we're gonna have plenty to react to on that next Wednesday.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, Falcons, we're first place in the division, and kind of at the look back, and maybe we can take this time to kind of look back on the NFC South. NFC South. It's kind of shaping out how we thought it would before this.
Yeah, no. It's perfectly. And the New Orleans stuff, it's not a big as disaster as Hurricane Katrina. It's really close, but at the same time, when you look at it, it's kind of they start off 2-0. They blew out Dallas. We recognize that Dallas is a mediocre team, and we know Carolina's bad.
Hey, 1 second. I just opened up the fantasy app. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that Josh has lost 5 straight fantasy games.
We said that when Justice was just over here. We just talked about it. I said, you guys are talking about how y'all are low. I said, Josh has lost 5 games in a row.
I didn't realize he had lost 5 in a row. I guess I didn't hear you.
This team's not good either.
No, they're not.
Look at his roster. He doesn't have a good team.
Sam
Because CJ Stroud is kind of like, yeah, he's good in real life, but fantasy wise, 285, a touchdown and a pick, that's not great fantasy production.
No. CJ Stroud is hurt against some other league.
And Alvin Kamara, although he's been kind of carrying the Saints to any type of offense.
Carrying them where?
I mean, he's the third ranked running back. Tyreek Hill is his first pick. We know how that's going in Miami. Devontae Smith is wide receiver 2 on really a running team. Josh Jacobs has been solid.
Yeah.
Evan Ingram he was hurt, I think, to kind of start the year. I mean, he's kind of coming in his own, but then he started like Alexander Madison is a starter for Josh. Like, I mean, these are the type of
is Alexander Madison a starter on the Raiders?
He had Rashee Rice, which I'll give him that. But Rashee Rice got hurt in what, week 4, 5?
Yeah.
He torched us.
Yeah. He got what he wanted when
he did. Wanted. And that's why I'm afraid of CeeDee Lamb for this week, too.
Oh, I'm afraid of any good receiver against AJ Terrell. Yeah. Who had a pick. He had a pick.
I think that as long as our offense does what they need to do, we will win the game. But I expect this to be a high-scoring game. Like, I think Dallas is going to score 24 points.
But Dak will throw us one, so we got to catch it.
For sure, just like Baker was.
Yeah, we can't.
Baker will give it to us.
And hopefully he throws it to Jeffy or Justin. I trust them.
I trust us. I mean, I expect us to win the game. Like, I mean, if we are – because we're going to win the division. I'm not even worried about that. There's no way we melt that away because Tampa's got – they get Kansas City on Monday night this week at Kansas City, and then they have to go to San Francisco. Or no, they play San Francisco the following week, coming off a bye.
We should be 3 or 4 games up.
Yeah, I feel really good about the division. It's just more so of, well, can we get the 2 seed? Can we
get 2 home playoff games?
And then if Detroit, Green Bay, and Chicago and Minnesota cannibalize each other. Can we sneak maybe the 1? Can we make it at the end of the year to where that's an opportunity?
But can we take Chicago out of that cannibalization conversation?
No, I think that it was a badly called game and they lost on an unfortunate
No. They lost because they played like shit all game. And
they're still a playoff. To me, they can still be a playoff team.
But they're not good yet.
Their defense is a lot better than everybody wants to give it credit. I mean, Washington, up until that Hail Mary, didn't score any touchdowns. So, they, in a weird way, they were down the whole game, but they really played well enough to win anyways.
No. They got dominated that entire game.
They gave up a touchdown at the goal line because everybody wants to fucking be the 85 Bears. And that's not the time and place to be the 85 Bears.
That's Tarmac type stuff
right there. And then you gave up a play where you were undisciplined with a corner that was talking cash money all game, and he hands them the victory. I mean, so they could have won the game. They could be 6-2 right now.
They could have won that game, but watching that game again, their defense did clamp down in the red zone really well. But
and you got to think, the Commanders were averaging 27, 28 a game. Go ahead.
But the Commanders were having their way moving the ball, and Chicago had no offensive flow. And if we're being honest, that one big run by DeAndre Swift that gave me hope about beating Gambles this week. Only if I would have started Sam Darnold instead of Jordan Love, or instead of Jordan Love, I would have beat him. Neither here nor there. But that one run is the only thing that gave them any inkling of life. Caleb Williams sucked in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
And then as they started getting into, okay, let's waste time defense. Okay. Nothing deep, nothing cheap. He gets going. And nothing
deep, nothing cheap.
And my issue with Caleb Williams coming out of college pretty much was what I saw Sunday.
He's good impromptu.
He just can't sit in a pocket and just deliver the ball on a consistent basis.
But he's great when it comes to the impromptu stuff.
Yeah, but that doesn't win championships.
But is the line bad?
I don't know if the line's bad.
I think his play calling is bad, personally, because they've got too many weapons to not be averaging 27 a game.
I think they have too many.
I mean, because I don't question his arm. his decision making has been much like a rookie you would expect. Like so,
much like he was his last year at USC.
yeah. But like Jaden, like for instance, Jaden Daniels, on the other hand,
Stuck.
looks like he's been in the league 4 years, and I thank you for trading him to me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It worked out for both of us because Mike Evans is hurt.
Two of the best receivers in the fucking league.
Well, but the production hinges on Caleb. So like he hadn't had a good he didn't have it even in London. He didn't get in on the fun. He didn't have a good game in London, and they blew them out. Like he didn't have a good game. So like I've had two. DJ Moore is like hit or miss in a weird way.
DJ Moore would be better with Mitchell Trubisky, as far as I'm concerned.
Just like he was with Justin Fields, somebody that's going to force feed him, but there's so many mouths to feed in Chicago.
But back to that point, I think their weapons are too good, and for them to have acquired two of those weapons this offseason, for them not to have a good O-line. You did not have to draft Rome Odunze and acquire Keenan Allen. You could have picked one or the other and used those assets to improve your line. But they have a fundamental. I mean, they're fundamentally flawed, and I think everyone there is DeMar Hamlin.
Coaching staff wise, I don't think Poles gets fired. But,
no, Poles is good. Poles is good.
Yeah, but coaching staff for sure. Waldron, yeah, they're gone. Waldron's gone because he handed it off to an O-lineman on the goal line in the last.
Honestly, the head coach should be gone too because he didn't hop on the headset and say, "What the fuck are you doing?" Again, a couple weeks ago when I said, "What would Bill Belichick do?"
Do you think that should be the standard for NFL coaches in any type of situation?
I think when you're
the guys that have done it more than anyone do,
when you're in those situations where you want to get tricky, you go, "Would Bill Belichick do this?"
WWBD.
Because you can't do it every play, right? Because if you could do it every play, then you would just do what Bill Belichick would do. But in a situation where you go, you know what? I'm going to change something up. What would Bill do? You know what? I don't know. What would Andy do? Would Andy call this play? Am I Andy? No. I probably shouldn't call this play, huh? I shouldn't give a backup offensive lineman the ball when he's in the backfield.
And know your personnel. DeAndre Swift ran the ball very well that whole game. He had like 120. I mean, he's on your team. He had like 120 yards and a touchdown.
And the other running back got the second touchdown. So
Roshan, right? Like, and a hard, big runner. And it's just kind of like, it's just bad coaching. And that's why they're DeMar Hamlin.
So I was listening to a podcast that is much more popular than ours, and so I'm not going to shout them out. And they were talking about it, and they go, "It's one thing if you're going to use a lineman who's like lined up, you know, and you're going to like pass him the ball. But when you get into a heavy formation and you run the ball up the middle, the defense is prepared for you to run the ball up the middle. So why would you give it to a non-running person up the middle? That's stupid. Like, why would you not want that guy to push your quarterback in the back if you're gonna hand it off or lead block? Have him as an extra blocker, not as the fucking whatever." Anyways, since we're here, do we care about the Hail Mary? I think I honestly was so happy about that Hail Mary because what I did not want to do is tune into football content, especially like a Colin Cowherd or anything from the 4-Letter Network, and watch live porn on television. Because Caleb Williams would have gotten blown so many times that this guy may have been on IR.
Yeah, I look. It's a good thing that the network did, and we didn't know if Jaden Daniels was going to play in that game. I'm glad they did move it to that slot because think about the Bengals and yeah, that ended up being a smelly game. I mean, it ended up being a 20-point game, and what it is the Bengals are just so bad defensively at this point to where they're not even viable to be a playoff team. I know Joe Burrow was like, we got 9 games left. We got to go 7-2. Basically, 10 wins get you in. And he's right. Like, he wasn't wrong. But, he's drinking the same thing that Aaron Rodgers is drinking at that point.
What, ayahuasca juice?
Cayenne pepper and water, apparently. I mean, that's what Aaron said this week. That's what he feels great. But
hey, I actually used to do cayenne pepper and apple cider vinegar in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, empty stomach. It's great to get your day.
Who put you on?
I think somebody woke or the internet, one of the two.
One and the same.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty.
Internet's woke.
It's a pretty good way to start your day, but I'll tell you that first shit you take is it feels like that shit tastes. Yeah, you need the wet wipes for that one.
Yeah.
But what other football games do we care about? I don't care about the Eagles versus the Bengals outside of, hey, Philly is going to not win that division, but Philly looks like a good team, and apparently Nick's got his dick back.
Well, this is how I look at it. I think the Eagles are a product of their schedule.
Okay.
Not
their offensive coordinator?
No. The Bengals aren't a playoff team. The Browns aren't a playoff team. Let me count who they've beaten.
They lost to a playoff team.
Who'd they play? They played the Giants, so that's not a playoff team.
No.
They lost to a playoff team.
They did.
At home. Who'd they play week 1?
Stuck on that, Holsey.
Yeah, he's got to. He has no other choice. He could gnaw on it. But I look at the teams that they've lost to. They beat Green Bay. They did beat Green Bay, but that was a wild, weird game, and it was the first game of the year. So the first game of the year, like, we count it, but like,
yeah,
it's preseason game 1.
It tells us nothing.
And they barely beat them. Jordan Love got hurt. They could have done exactly what Jaden Daniels did too if he was in, but Malik Willis was in. So
who's been a serviceable backup since that day.
They lost to us. They did beat the Saints, who aren't a good team. They lost to Tampa, who, with their 2 best receivers playing, is a playoff team too.
Absolutely.
So those are their losses. They lost to us and the Bucks, but they beat the Bengals, Giants, Browns, Saints, and Packers. So they have 1 win over a playoff team. And said playoff team, granted, they were probably going to lose. Their best player still got hurt.
True.
In that game. So, and Josh Jacobs had to get acclimated. Like, I'm just the first game of the year. I'm just saying, like, I'm not taking away the win. I'm just simply saying that was at least the circumstance of said win.
I think we've given Philly too much time. Let's talk about coaches who have saved their jobs.
But wait, real quick, just because we were on Philly, I just want to run through their schedule next.
But who cares?
They play the Jaguars next, so like
that's a win.
Yeah, and they're at home. Like, but
Trevor Lawrence on the other side.
They get Dallas, who, in a weird way, at least over the last,
I don't know what they are.
They split typically, and that game is in Dallas, and that's coming off of playing us. So who knows? They might win.
That could be one.
They get the Commanders, who that will be a test for them going straight to Philly. They got to get the Rams, who are healthy. They get the Ravens. They get Carolina, so that'll be one. They got to play Philly.
I don't need a Philly roster schedule breakdown. I don't give a fuck about Philly.
But I'm just saying they haven't played the meat yet.
They're going to finish second in the division. Tommy's on top.
Come, man.
Tommy's on top, and that's going to play out about a week from now. Tommy's on top.
Well, is it come, man?
Take command.
That's what Dale does.
Yeah, weekly.
Dale got upset at me because I took out the 49ers defense when I had a 2-point lead, not knowing Dallas could have shredded the 49ers for all I cared. And we've seen defenses get -3 points. And so I protect myself from it. And then, then I become a dork.
It's the regular season. It's not the playoffs.
Well, that's what he tried to say. Well, he tried to say this is fantasy football. And I said, well, Dale, I apply real football to fantasy. I said, I don't know about you, but, you take a knee when the game is in hand. There's no reason to score more points if you don't have to. Because I've seen a football team lose a game by fumbling. And
no.
Georgia Tech lost to like Miami, or Miami lost to Georgia Tech in college last year because they did that shit.
Todd Gurley lost us a game by scoring.
This is what I'm saying. So there was no reason. I didn't need to do that. I'd already beaten you.
He was a sore loser. I mean,
it's okay, but I get it. I get it. Like, I get it. Look, a lot of it, especially in our group, I know because I've won this league so many times. Trust me, I know it.
I don't think it's that deep for the group. You're gonna make me
not personally, but I'm saying just even from a fantasy. If you could choose, I'm sure.
Can we talk about coaches who have saved their jobs, whether by hook or by crook?
Go ahead.
Kevin Stefanski saved his job, I think. Now, granted, all of us know that Kevin Stefanski did not want to start Deshaun Watson as long as he did.
He wasn't on the hot seat. He's not this year. Next year he would have been. Not this year. There's no way he'd be on the hot seat this year.
I don't put anything.
They could lose out, and I think he would have still.
I don't put anything past Jimmy Haslam. Shout out to him. Great business school. Me and
Evan loves too, don't you?
No, not really. I'm not a love.
You don't stop at the truck stop.
Occasionally. Me and Evan are walking in December.
Okay, so he's gonna be walking too.
Yeah.
You guys gonna link up?
We gotta do it. We gotta do it.
Maybe a little IG.
Oh, absolutely. No, but anyways, I think Kevin.
If y'all could just not this year,
Hey, grab a mic. Join us.
Right.
But no, Jameis Winston comes out, throws for 300 yards. They score with 20 points and did everything that they couldn't do without Deshaun Watson. And as somebody who tried to cape for Deshaun Watson because he was 5-1 last year, but obviously not playing well. Somebody who tried to say that there was a media sabotage attack against Deshaun Watson, not because he's not guilty of alleged actions. I don't know what's in there. He settled out of court, NDA, so we'll never know what happened. Because people like to say if you settle, that means you did it. No, sometimes you want to pay for problems to go away, and that's just the American legal system.
Yeah, and they beat arguably the hottest team in the NFL, by the way.
Yeah, but Deshaun Watson was playing bad football. He was just playing terrible football, and he
doesn't seem like he's a good football player anymore. Anyway.
No, and I only want to talk about him being a bad football player. I don't want to speak about his character because everybody's character is layered, and people have their flaws, and some flaws are obviously worse than others. But we're too quick to question someone's character without knowing who they truly are. And maybe he doesn't even carry himself as a high character person, so it's not an insult. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, with Julian Turner, and I'm comfortable saying this on the podcast, right? Would Julian Turner be insulted if somebody goes, "You're a fucking womanizer"?
I know his response.
Yeah, I know.
My response would be, well, do you think you know him?
Bingo.
Because you're just making an assumption based on an interaction or what you've heard or what you're seeing in a present moment, but do you know him? And I don't think that that aligns with that. So, but it's the same thing with Deshaun. And I think we both agree that with Deshaun, this was a mental thing. Like, clearly, there's no way he's lost that much ball in him. He's been doing it his whole life. There's just no way. And he got paid, and maybe that's a comfort zone, knowing that you don't have to worry about anything. But at the same time, I don't think that he got paid and just was like, fuck this.
No.
I think that that shit affected him mentally. And even out there playing, not that because he hears it at every stadium he goes to, maybe even at home. He hears it like because people are going to be saying it to him. That's the type of thing that people do. You know, people will bring up your shortcomings in life, whether they're true or not. But if they heard about it, that is going to be a taunting piece. Like it just is something that mentally he did not. I don't think he's gotten over.
And I'm not saying he did not do some of the stuff that was said. But I think you believe this, and I'm pretty sure Deshaun Watson, I'm comfortable saying Deshaun Watson probably knows and believes this. It was a hit job after he did not want to play for Cal McNair after he made the slaves running the asylum or whatever the fuck he said type comment.
Yeah.
And he was like, bro, I don't want to play for this guy. And he said he wasn't going to play. Then all of a sudden, a bunch of lawsuits just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And the lawyer who actually represented them, I think he has a Diddy lawsuit out there too. So he's an ambulance chaser on that side of the house, but he's really good and really powerful. So you just go. So this guy's taking all these pro bono law cases. And allegedly he like lives in the same neighborhood as Texans ownership.
Yeah.
And the Texans provided rooms for him to entertain his company.
Yeah.
You know, like the feeling of being set up, even if you were doing something wrong, that also affects your mental psyche because you can't trust anybody. You don't know who to trust. It's just so layered. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I just think that, and I've mentioned it on this show before, but obviously, you know, I met him once and who knows what he was doing at that time because it was like 3 a.m. And I guess everybody's like, well, what the fuck were you doing at 3 a.m.? I was getting back home drunk, guys. That's what I was doing. He just so happened to be in the same building as me.
Why did you get back home so late, buddy?
I don't question what these guys do, but he was there and he was checking in to go to see someone. So I have no idea who that was. Maybe one of these incidents happened there. Maybe they didn't. But doesn't seem like a bad dude. I mean,
but we're talking about Jameis though.
Oh, well, even with him, and he's another person that started his career and had a lot of he went number one, of course, but like there were a lot of questions before his career. Like at Florida State, it seemed like he was getting in trouble a lot, right?
Well, yeah, he stole crab legs, which I never believed that. He got a little.
He told the story. He told the story, and he said,
yeah, buddy thought he was good.
Yeah.
And then he did the grab him by the pussy. Which, when I was in college and all that stuff happened, I was not as enlightened as I am today, and I chuckled.
I loved it.
Another coach who decided to save their job was what's my man's name? In Indianapolis. He finally benched that bum that they should have drafted.
Who?
AR-15.
Not Shane Steichen. Yeah, Shane Steichen.
Yeah, Steichen, yeah. They confiscated the AR-15, the gun ban around here. Get this guy off the field. Hey, Parlay Pete and I said it first. Look, we saw all the raw potential, the measurables, cool. But we're Georgia football fans, obviously. We watched this guy play against Georgia. We also watched this guy struggle to win a job from the likes of Emory Jones, okay? Where the hell is Emory Jones right now?
Bagging groceries.
He's probably at Desmond Ritter's insurance camp. Or he might be Desmond's mentor. I don't know. But we knew AR wasn't it. We didn't care about the flashes. We didn't care about the great plays. We didn't care about the wins. We didn't care about the deep balls, pause. We didn't care about the long runs. It's like, hey, man, this guy wasn't a good college football player. He was talented, but he wasn't a good, productive football player. Like, nobody would line up on a Saturday and say, hey, give me AR-15 over Stetson Bennett.
No.
But in the same draft, Stetson Bennett goes late round and AR-15 goes early. And you know what? They both are at Aaron Murray's fucking post-career camp now.
I was about to say they've done about the same.
So I think it was the right move. And honestly, it kind of takes me to this other thing that I sent you to the Instagram that you don't look at.
Yeah.
And it's about all these young quarterbacks on the bench. So AR 22, and he's benched for the season, by the way. Bryce Young 23, Trey Lance 24, Justin Fields 25, Will Levis. Damn, he's 25. Jesus, he played extra years in college.
He is fucking garbage.
Yeah, Will Levis 25, Zach Wilson 25, Mac Jones 26, Kenny Pickett 26, and looking at all of these quarterbacks, and in the new age of you have to, if you don't have a quarterback, you have to go draft a guy in the first round, even if he doesn't have a first round grade.
Yeah,
I think this is a prime example of no, the fuck you don't. Because if we take it even deeper, we can look at Malik Willis, we can look at Desmond Ridder, and these are like 3rd and 4th round picks, but they were still overdrafted based upon like their grades as a player. But because the quarterback position is so highly valued, you take a lower rated quarterback in a higher round just to get a guy. And what it all turns out, what it all tells you is if they're not good, they're not good. So even if you take them early, hold on. I know you want to chime in here, but even if they're good, I mean, even if you're not good at that position, if you're going to draft a guy who's probably not going to project well, then you shouldn't. Now, if you see like, especially an Anthony Richardson guy or even a Mac Jones guy, 2 different quarterbacks, right? Mac Jones fairly polished, but talent is limited. Anthony Richardson, highly talented, but raw. Pause. You have to have a starting quarterback who you're comfortable with to be there for more than just one season to, for one, stabilize your job and also give you time to fully develop this young quarterback. Terry fucking Fontenot. Hey, Michael Lombardi. All that shit you told. Guess what? You find a quarterback that you really like, and you go, you know what? Maybe this is where he should be drafted. Maybe he has a mid first round grade, but you get him early first round. But you get Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins allows you to not throw this guy on the field early. It allows you to finally get some fucking wins because you had Desmond Ridder, dead Matt Ryan, and Marcus fucking Trash Yoda, Muddy Yoda, whatever you want to call him. All this trash and Heineke too. Give me a Heineken, goddammit. I don't even like imported beer. But then you go get Kirk, a professional, who then rights the ship for your team. NFC Offensive Player of the Week. While Penix is learning how to be a pro quarterback, and in 2 years, he gets to take the field. Guess what? If Penix doesn't work, you've bought real equity with the owner and show that you have a vision, you know how to build a team, and it just took you a little bit longer than you wanted because let's be real, this is what, year 4 of Fontenot, right? Yeah, year 4 of Fontenot. And maybe you want your turnaround, your turnaround to be in 2 years, but he got it in 4. If you take a minor step back because you messed up quarterback, but everything else is fucking humming, it shows ownership. Hey, this guy knows how to build a team. Now we just got to go find a quarterback.
Right.
But no, you want to take Zach Wilson too.
Think about it. Now that we've figured out the quarterback thing, the succession plan, the current, we got that figured out. Now he gets to be a GM, and he was aggressive, obviously, right before the season started by getting Judon. We're still not getting the heat that I really would want because we're still last in the NFL in sacks. And it just seems like, I don't know, what is Atlanta curse with pass rushers? But like,
bring back 44.
Now he can focus on that, right? Now we can talk about making a trade, to go get him one more of these guys. Like
Big V.
Yeah, I want to know what they want from Miles, but
looking for him
because I don't know what direction that team is really going to go in, especially because they're fucked up cap wise.
Well, who's going to
help them?
Who's going to buy jerseys? Like, what jersey are you going to buy? Coop's gone. Deshaun is persona non grata.
And he might, yeah.
I mean, who's going to sell a jersey?
Chubb, I mean, I'm not saying he's done, but I mean, he's had some serious knee injuries, and he's a running back anyway, so his shelf life was already kind of on the back end.
And he came into the league with injuries too.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, drafted Shador.
He's not going there.
Vegas, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Vegas, or I'll give you a dark horse.
New York.
If it keeps getting ugly. Now, I don't know if Prime would allow it.
I don't know if New York will allow. They don't draft black quarterbacks.
They'll take one this fucking time.
I mean,
Hey,
I think Gino was the first black quarterback. I think Gino was the first black quarterback to start for them.
Oh, see, you were talking Jets. I was talking Giants.
No, I'm talking Giants. No, when Gino started for the Giants.
Okay. Well, you said Gino because I'm thinking of drafting. Yeah.
Well, no, they drafted Gino and he fucking started eventually.
Yeah.
Hey, funny story about that team. It was one game Gino was playing like shit, and Rex just starts going off and says, "Michael Vick, you're getting in. Like you're playing the second half." And the team got so hyped, even though Vick was not the Vick of old.
Yeah.
But it was just the aura of who Michael Vick is, and these niggas are like, "Oh shit, bro, we got a chance. We got Michael Vick back there."
Right. We're about to be playing with Mike.
But yeah, stop drafting quarterbacks who you don't actually like just because you think you need a quarterback. Look at Baker Mayfield. Look at Sam Darnold. It's taking these guys years to kind of find their niche in the league. And these were Sam Darnold was had a first round grade on him. Baker didn't have a first round grade by most people until after football was over, just because of his size and stuff like that. But he had the intangibles to galvanize a team that helps out. And we knew Baker could sling it, but the nigga's like 5'10" and fat. Like when Baker stops playing football, he's gonna be like Antoine Walker.
I don't think it's gonna be that bad. And maybe because he looks like he's a beer drinker, and obviously he's a Zen guy. But like,
you think he's a Zen guy, or you think he's fucking packing Copenhagen?
No, I mean, well, both. But certainly on the sideline, he had the Zen against us. So, or no, that wasn't against us. That was against Baltimore on Monday night. But
I'm a Zen guy.
I don't typically get it, but I got it at one time because it was, Quick Trip doesn't serve like these, so
they don't.
And I'm not buying that other whatever that dumb shit is. So, I'll get a Zen here and there. I like the cinnamon or the mint, but
yeah, I'm a citrus guy. Shout out to Nico for putting me onto that sweet shit pause.
Well.
That definitely sounded like Nico turned me out, huh?
The way you made it sound, yeah. The pause really saved that.
Hey guys, I have a wife, and it's not a front. I promise.
It isn't. It isn't.
Hey! Wrap up football because I gotta piss.
Well, looks like the Yankees just hit a 2-run home run.
Well, yeah, just talk about something so I can go.
Aaron Judge, of course he did.
About fucking time. I didn't know he was playing in the World Series.
Yeah, so we just got that news break here with Aaron Judge blasting off. Sorry for that brief intermission. Literally just lost a little bit of connection there. But yeah. Oh, looks like the Yankees just hit another home run. So now we're talking about the Yankees are up 3-0 in the first inning. So I guess now it's time to just load up on the Yankees to win the series. That's what it looks like, at least to me. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's kind of the direction it looks like this series is headed in. You might as well just throw money on the Yankees at this point.
You talking about the World? Are we talking about the World Series?
Well, it's because there's so much going on right now.
World Series MVP Freddie Freeman.
Well, Aaron Judge hits a 2-run shot, and then Jazz Chisholm hits one to follow up. So now they're up 3-0 in the first inning.
Oh shit!
Well,
Let me ask you.
And we can briefly just speak on this. Obviously, shout outs to Freddie Freeman. He should win World Series MVP, but when you get off to a start like this in a game like this, all it takes is New York to go back to LA and win one game, and then once you hit the game 7, now what? It's not over. It's still very early, but a 3-0 hole to start the game. I mean, that means everybody needs to probably get to work.
And Sale's on the mound today, right?
Not Sale.
Not Sale. Sorry.
Garrett Cole.
Sale plays for us. Garrett Cole.
Yeah, it's Garrett Cole, and then it's Jack Flaherty for the Dodgers. Jack Flaherty pitched for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Jack Flaherty's he's about done.
Well, look, the bases have been cleared twice, and he looks like he's about to walk him.
Well, I'm watching it right now, so don't ruin this for me with your fucking. Hey, let's just give Freddie some quick flowers, man. Shout out to Freddie Freeman. For us as Braves fans, we hated to see you go, and we were actually upset with you until we actually found out the extenuating circumstances around it, and then you fired your agent. So it let us know that you actually didn't want to leave us, and it's okay. I mean, you brought us a ring, and we just wish you could have stayed, forever, so you could be a Chipper Jones for us. We would hold you in high regard.
Yeah, be a Chip guy, Smoltz, and look, he'll still be beloved as a Brave. I mean, I don't think this changes anything.
I didn't even like before I found out about the agent shit. I didn't like the idea of booing him because he was here for so long. He did stay and bring us a ring, and he's a Cali guy, so him going back home to probably end.
He did what he needed to do here.
Yeah. And to go back home, if he would have went to the Rockies, it's fucking or the Nats or the Phillies.
Payday. Yeah, strictly payday type thing.
Yeah, but if you go back home, nobody can ever knock you for going back home. And if somebody ever tries to knock you for going back home, they don't love you.
You want to know what hurt the most about him leaving? He was the connection to the 90s Braves because the baton was literally given to him by Chipper. He played with Chipper, and it was just like, God, what an end of an era of Braves baseball, because there's no Favre to Rodgers to love. And the Braves are kind of, in a weird way, like a Green Bay Packer organization for baseball. We're not the Yankees. We're not the Dodgers. We're not the Red Sox. But the Braves are one of those big 5 organizations in baseball, in my opinion. They're the team of the South. And he had been the face through teams that underachieved, the end of the Bobby Cox era, obviously the baton passing from
years.
Yeah, more underachieving years. Years where I think going into it, everybody thought the Braves would be a playoff team because they always had been. And then they'd go 80 and 82, 78 and 84. They would have.
You remember when we were missing the playoffs? I think that's where I stopped becoming a avid baseball watcher and follower. Was when we went through, what was it? Was it post college or the tail end of college when we stopped winning? I'm like, what's going on here?
So I think it was freshman or sophomore year. Me and Matt Flowers went to the first ever MLB wild card game, and it was obviously now it's notoriously the infield fly rule game. Me and Matt,
that was against the Cardinals, right?
yeah, we were there. We had seats in the he came to my room and was like, I got tickets to the Braves game. Do you want to go? I said, hell yeah. I said, let's, that's Marta. Let's get there. I think we walked to the Marta.
See, man, I wish we would have been closer friends then because I drove to that game and you could have just rode with me.
Yeah, and look, especially back in because a lot of people forget that there were days that Uber didn't exist, and like literally we went through all of college even without it, and like
it didn't pop up to my senior year.
But either way, we snuck down. We ended up somehow, some way. Whoever it was that owned the seats never came. We sat on the second row in the outfield, literally center field.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That we didn't get ID'd for our beer. $15 beers. Yeah, it was.
Cold beer!
And we're talking, these were like 24-ounce cups. And we were a part of the mob that threw shit on the field. So I'll never forget that. But
at a baby.
But we'll miss Freddie. I mean, I'm happy for him. I mean, I don't know. They might be in fucking trouble. We'll know, but like we'll see.
I'm rooting for him in this series. I would love for him to get MVP.
Another one. Yeah, he deserves
5 straight World Series games with a homer or some shit like that.
Yeah.
They don't start giving that nigga the Barry Bonds treatment.
Maybe. And look, like I said, they're down 3-0 headed. It's the end of the first inning. Who knows? Look, the Dodgers are a good enough offense to overcome this deficit. And matter of fact, funny enough, Game 5 World Series, I went to the one here. In that game, there was a grand slam hit in the first inning by d'Arnaud, and we lost that game. We lost that game by like 3 or 4 runs. And so anything can happen when you're playing against a team that's got hitters.
Yeah. But you ready to get to our NBA overreactions?
Yes.
Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
I want to go first only because mine is not an overreaction.
And why
I'm going to place it out there to see if you think it's an overreaction. And I text you about it because I said that this was the first thing I wanted to bring up. The Denver Nuggets are a play-in team. They're going to be a play. And I'm not saying they're going to be the 9, 10. They could be the 7. But the Denver Nuggets will be a play-in team in the West this year.
And if we're being honest, every move that they've made over the last 2 years are telling us that they are a play-in team because they've lost important fits and expected young guys who don't play similarly, who don't have that experience. And there is an obvious disconnect between the front office and the coaching staff that's created this.
Someone on Twitter pointed this out. Win championship, lose role players. Next year, lose KCP, add Russell Westbrook. And it coincides with what the Lakers did after they won the quote Mickey Mouse ring.
Hey, but let's look at this. Lakers win in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
They have the weird 2021 season where LeBron and AD were both hurt. So then they just gut the roster. The Bucks win in 2021. They come back in 2022. Giannis is hurt. Jimmy Butler goes absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
And he makes the finals, by the way. It's not like he just went bonkers and got put out in the second round. No, he went crazy.
Yeah, and in the Lakers case, the same thing happened. The Nuggets win.
Yeah, he solidified his Hall of Fame status, and he goes to the finals. No, the Suns put the Lakers out, and they went to the finals. Yeah, same shit, right?
Yeah.
Then the Bucks.
That's what I meant. That actually is what I meant. Denver did it, though, the next year.
Yeah, but same shit happened. Like the same shit that happened to the Lakers happened with the Bucks, right? And we fire coaches. We change up the roster. And with Denver, it's a little bit different. They just didn't want to pay niggas, apparently. And they wanted to believe in their young talent. But Mike Malone does not believe in playing young talent. So you should do like the Lakers and bring in vets, trade your draft picks for players because your coach is not going to play young guys. And now you've lost the identity of your championship team. off to me some overreactional stuff. Did KCP have the best playoffs last year? No. But does he space the floor? Yeah.
Does he play defense?
Yeah. Should you actually try to replace Drew Holiday with Dame Lillard? Yes, Dame Lillard's better on offense, but as we've seen that offense go, he does not. He and Giannis don't play together. They play separate games. And then Adrian Griffin was 31 and 13, and then you bring in Doc, and he's under 500. I don't know. Maybe the coach that the players didn't like, who was winning, should still be the fucking coach.
So what's your overreaction here?
No, I'm still talking about your point. With Denver.
Well, I'm just curious.
Overreaction's coming. Hold on. Denver then gets rid of their key role players. Look, man, the stars are going to be the stars. They're going to do star stuff. But the way to get these teams over the top is to have contributing role players. Even if you go back to the Big Three era, what was it with the Celtics? James Posey them making valuable contributions, which won games. With LeBron and the Heat, Mike Miller had that crazy finals game. Ray Allen hit the three against the Spurs. Dirk and the Mavericks, the whole team was role players besides Dirk. And them niggas did role player shit.
Yeah.
You got to have good role players to win championships. Dwight Howard in 2020, Rajon Rondo, Danny Green. Like, you got to have role players.
But think about it, and we briefly spoke on this a little bit. We're just in this league of where there's duos. Like, it's supposed to be duos. And I've said all-star duos, and obviously you even corrected me, at least with Denver specifically, because, well, Jamal Murray's not an all-star.
Will never be an all-star.
He's a
CJ McCollum with good PR.
CJ McCollum's the Walmart brand of him.
I ain't drinking tonight. Yeah, but yeah. So then you get my big overreaction. MVP, Lakers in the finals.
It on a night like tonight, it looks awfully cold because of how the Cavaliers are housing them.
The Cavaliers.
It's one game. It's one regular season game early in the year, but this is what I will say about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this much: the Cavs, to get to another overreaction, that the Cavs are Eastern Conference contender because they've been beating the hell out of people. And they do have this team that's been built through the draft. They signed Mitchell, but like everybody else is pretty much drafted.
And they've been together for like 3 years.
Yeah. So it's kind of like Mitch signed the money because everybody thought he was going to New York, but of course they got Jalen Brunson, so there's no reason that he would be there now.
And they got big.
Well, the Yankees did. I mean, the Knicks did.
They got big.
Well, I thought he was what was the nickname?
Big Bodega?
Yeah, Big Bodega. Yeah.
Keep talking. These niggas are talking to me, and I can't listen to both of y'all.
Yeah. Well, you tell those niggas. But yeah, either way, I think that Cleveland that would be an overreaction too within itself that they're actually getting a conference contender. But even to your point, I don't think the Lakers are finals contenders. I mean, obviously they're going to be a playoff team. I just think that the reality of it is with them, they're going to have to make a move. There's no way they can run this team back. They, in a weird way, they're kind of like the Dallas Cowboys because that's what they did. And I hate to compare the most popular teams, but they're basically the Dallas Cowboys. And this will 3-0 start, now 3-1, and now it looks like they're headed to 3-2. This is more of what the doctor ordered with them. They'll be a playoff team, like no doubt. And you can never count LeBron out. But like I think Phoenix is a better team than them, personally. Like I think Phoenix, even though the thought was like, man, they might have to blow this shit up. I think getting a championship coach like Bud and the idea of there's an unknown with JJ Redick, it just makes it a lot harder to just say, oh, yeah, the Lakers. But that's a hot take. That's the overreaction. So,
yeah. Okay, what's your next overreaction?
That the Hawks are better off without DeJounte Murray.
I don't think that's an overreaction. I think it's facts.
Well,
Trey can be.
I don't know. I mean, we don't know yet. It's so early, right? But like, they certainly seem like as a nucleus, they play better, and Trey certainly is better.
Yeah, close the door, please.
And Trey was naturally gonna be better, right? Like that was kind of the thing. Like we kind of knew that Trey would be better because he has to be better no matter what.
He doesn't have to think as much about getting somebody involved, and he can just play freely.
And let me tell you this: I don't know if you watched basketball last night, but boy, I know DeJounte's hurt already, but like, boy, the Pelicans, man, that they got an issue. There's an issue. They're going to have to trade BI. Something's going to have to happen with that team. And the reason I say that, just from the little bit of basketball I saw last night, they don't defend, and that's an issue. Let me tell you, there were guys that had career nights last night because there was no Wiggins, no Curry, and Draymond didn't have 20. So,
Kuminga.
Bro, Kuminga's coming off the bench because they don't want to pay him. He's going to get traded the way that everybody makes it sound.
Yeah, I know they're trying to fuck him because they don't want to pay him. So they're going to.
There was some nigga, man, I've never heard of. There were no player props for him. He had 18 points, and he's the one that started in place of Kuminga. Maybe Steve Kerr knows something. I don't, but
he doesn't.
But it's more, to me, it's more indicative on the Pelicans because you don't drop that game with basically the same team you had last year minus DeJounte Murray. Because it's the same. DeJounte wasn't on the team last year, but like minus Trey Murphy didn't play. So you had Herb, you had McCollum, you had Zion, you had Bi. Basically, that's your nucleus.
Are you talking about are you talking about Moody, Moses Moody?
No. I'm talking about.
Are you talking about this nigga Lindy Waters?
Yep, that's who I'm. Yeah, have you ever heard of him?
Nah, that nigga had 21.
Hey man, that's the first time you've ever uttered those words in a sentence. You've
Lindy
never said Lindy Water a day in your life. Like,
nah, I don't even think his mom expected him to score 21, and she loves him.
Exactly. And so in that, and they won by 18. Hold on, this is the even bigger part. They were up 17 after the first quarter, and I know that that's the new NBA. Like 17-1 lead ain't shit, but like, yeah, it is if you're a good team because that means you're not gonna blow it. If you're a good team, they're not a good team. They're going to make the playoffs too. But they look like they're about to continue to be a play-in.
I got another one for you. Paolo Banchero, top 10 player in the league this year.
So you're saying he'll make the All-NBA second team?
Yeah.
I'm buying that a little. Not necessarily he's top 10, but I'm buying that the Magic are legit. I'll buy that.
We're a top 3 seed, and Paolo averages high 20s.
Okay.
High 20s, 8 and 6 type shit.
I can actually get on board with that. Because even his time in Duke, there were things I saw that I really liked. I'm like, he's kind of like Carmelo, but like, no, I'm not going to say better. No, I'm not going to say better. Not offensively. I don't think
his game is more complimentary.
He's like Melo with some defense and a little and bigger. He's bigger.
Pause.
Yes. Yes.
One more from you, one more from me. Let's get to the picks.
Okay. What's that? Yankees are about to score again.
If you're fishing, I got
overreaction. Okay, overreaction. The Thunder are the only team in the NBA that can beat the Celtics. That can stop the Celtics from winning an NBA Finals.
Yeah, I've got to find a soundbite that says "stop the cap" or something because nigga, no, I don't think the Celtics can beat the Lakers. Not in playoffs.
Well, they got to make it there, though. But I'm just saying, so if there's a team that, let's say the Celtics run through the East again like they did. Now, obviously, the Sixers are still kind of this unknown because we haven't got to see them play.
Basically. Yeah, and they got fined $100,000. How the fuck do you find a billionaire $100,000 and think that fucking matters?
Well, they laugh at it, but look, the Sixers are down 15 to the Pistons at home right now, and it's the end of the third quarter.
Shout out to Cade.
Shout out to Tobias. He's getting his get back sex right now. He's got 10. He's got 10 and 8. He's got a little revenge porn thing going on.
I don't think 10 points in the NBA game and through 3 quarters is revenge porn.
Well, for him it is.
I think that's like leaking a picture of Shorty.
He's second in scoring right now.
Leaking a picture of Shorty in her lingerie, but she has bathing suit pictures on her Instagram.
Now, Cade's got 22, 5, and 5. So he's
the problem.
He should be the leading scorer. I'm just saying he's about to have a damn double-double through 3 quarters. Meanwhile, PG's not playing.
Is Embiid playing?
No.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, for them, they can look at it that way. They can be like, well, your best ability is availability, and you got a bunch of niggas that ain't available. So
I'll take an unavailable PG over Tobias Harris any day because when it matters, Tobias is unavailable too.
I'm with you. I'm just saying you don't think Tobias lit chops about this.
He said he would be in 3 minutes.
Okay. Oh, just know y'all's mics are on, by the way.
Hot Mike.
Pop, what up, my guy?
Is that VJ? What's up, brother?
Yeah, VJ and Trail. They ain't got headphones on, so they can't hear you. I mean, the headphones are right here. They can put them on, but
Oh, good. Tell him I said howdy.
He said how. VJ did this right here, and Trevor gave you 2 of these.
Okay, I know what I did to Trev, but
I'm lying. He didn't do that shit. Okay, final hot take. Clippers got better without Paul George.
that is a hot take. This is what I'll say, because we haven't seen them without Kawhi. I think with
Kawhi.
But I'm just that makes a big.
But Kawhi is going to do what we're going to do. He's going to just talk about basketball. He's just not going to do it publicly. But he's not playing.
Well, and right, that's the big thing. So I can't say that they got better because I haven't seen them with their best player. But I think that the style of basketball got better, yes.
I love James Harden being ISO Harden.
Well, he's had his most success being that.
Absolutely, because But anyways, Parlay P, is there anything basketball that's important to you that you want to overreact to, talk about that we haven't talked about? Shout out to was it BI hitting the bucket.
The game winner over Anthony
Simons, and they share baby moms.
Yeah. Niggas kids are brothers.
The niggas in the house with their mom arguing about who daddy better.
Look, somebody made a joke about Tom Brady because Giselle's pregnant.
I saw.
Somebody made a joke about that. They were like, holy shit. I think it was a Barstool Cat or whatever. And basically he was like, it's like if you're that kid, it's like you grow up and it's just like my half brother's dad is fucking Tom Brady. And it's like my dad is like this nigga that
the yoga guy.
Yeah, yeah.
The nigga's Matt Flowers without the eyes.
Right. But that was in the NBA.
Hey, shout out to you, Parlay P. Enjoyed today's show. Enjoyed homecoming. Look, hey, you coming to tailgate Sunday?
Yeah, I'll be there. So we got some business in town. So I got him his tickets and stuff. He's coming out from California.
Okay.
Saturday, I know we'll be doing
whining and dining.
Yep, it's logistics stuff too. So really pumped.
Hey, just know if they need a guy, I'm a logistician.
Well, whatever you trying. Well, here's the thing: we're the ones that are about to be in control of it. That's the thing. It's brokering.
Okay. We can talk off mic.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
I can be free on Saturday.
Yeah.
With commitments.
Yeah.
And gentlemen, it's time for Parlay P College Football 6.
6. All right. So, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is a shitty fucking slate of college football. There aren't very many entertaining games. Obviously, the Ohio State-Penn State game is the game of the week.
It's just gonna be boring.
Yeah, and that's why actually it's not even a part of my six-pack because I'm like, man, I don't even care who wins this game because they're both going to be in the playoffs and neither's going to win the national championship. But anyways, let's get to the picks. All right, we'll start off with maybe the dead giveaway. You don't get these very often in the regular season.
UGA to cover?
We'll get to that. Actually, I don't even have that on here. But no, where you get basically a week 1 or week 2 type match this late in the season. Okay. We got Massachusetts at Mississippi State. Mississippi State was moving the ball on Georgia. Give me Mississippi State minus 16.5 at home. That guy can throw. Mississippi State, they're going to cover the spread. It might be the freest money of the week. So that's why we kicked it off with that. Next, actually, we'll stay in the state of Mississippi. We got Ole Miss at Arkansas. I don't think Jackson Dart and them go out like this. Arkansas has played spoiler to Tennessee this year, and Ole Miss is pretty much out of it. But, you know, they actually could still get in. They'd have to beat Georgia, and I don't think they will. But, I mean, whatever. Either way, we're going to take Ole Miss on the money line at Arkansas. Next, we got Minnesota at Illinois. I can't believe this spread. I had to look up the injury report beforehand because I was like, well, why is this way? Illinois is an underdog at home against Minnesota. Give me Illinois' money line. I'm taking them strictly off the fact that I know that they're the better team, and I think Bielema's a better coach than Fleck. Fleck hadn't done shit in Minnesota. So give me Illinois' money. Next, Vanderbilt at Auburn. Another one where I was really shocked about the spread, so we're going to take the spread. Give me Vanderbilt plus 7.5. Anyone that's watched Auburn knows that that's a bad football team. Give me Vanderbilt plus 7.5 at Auburn. Next, we got Texas A&M at South Carolina, and guess what? I think the Cocks are going to be swinging that night. Give me South Carolina money line. I don't think Texas A&M has their quarterback situation figured out because Connor Wegman got benched for the young black freshman, and South Carolina's got a really good D-line, and Lenore Sellers is a pretty good quarterback. Give me South Carolina as the dog of the week. Next, and final game. We missed on Navy last week. They got the shit kicked out of them by Notre Dame. But we're going to go with our other servicemen. Air Force at Army. Give me Army minus 20.5. They're going to be able to score plenty of points. Air Force is not good.
All right, so we've got Mississippi State minus 16.5. We've got Ole Miss on the money line. Illinois on the money line. Vandy plus 7.5. South Carolina money line. Army minus 20.5.
That's perfect.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Parlay Peas and six.
I almost want to hit the Rizzler. You saw that shit's weird shit. Anywho, we got a nice slate for the NFL this week that I really like. We were really hot last week too.
Sorry, I didn't post. It was homecoming week. I was drunk.
It's okay. Nobody fault you. I had pretty much forgot about it. But anywho, we got the LA Chargers at the Cleveland Browns. I'm riding Jameis Winston. Pause. Very hard.
Pause. Yeah. Oh.
But I'm going to ride with them. Give me the Browns on the money line. They're dogs at home against the Chargers. The Chargers, to me, don't manufacture enough offense. They did against the Saints, but who doesn't against them, right? These days. Anywho, yeah, so Browns money line. Next, we got the Chicago Bears at the Arizona Cardinals. Really interesting game if you want to bet on who's going to win because it's a pick 'em. But we're just going to do the obvious. Over 43.5. I don't see how this game doesn't go over, to be honest with you. Considering how bad the Bears play this week, too. Give me the over. Next, we got the Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers. They've been selling this game on Fox during the World Series, and they're not selling the teams. They're selling Tom Brady calling it. So, I like over 46.5 in this game. I don't know why this game wouldn't go over. Now, I guess there's the questions of quarterbacking for Green Bay, but all signs are saying that Love is going to start. So I like the over as long as he plays. Next, Denver Broncos at the Baltimore Ravens. The Broncos have been waiting to get their ass kicked all season. And now they get to face a pissed off Ravens team that just lost a game that they shouldn't have lost anyways. I'm going to take the big kahuna here. Let me get the Ravens -9 against the Broncos.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man, I'm taking it. No, they're about to beat the shit out of them. The Broncos aren't a very good team, bro. They've had their schedule has kind of worked to their favor. I think Sean Payton's a good coach, but like the Ravens should blow doors. The Broncos just are not talented enough to realistically to hang in a game with them. Give me the Ravens -9. Next, we got the worst game on the slate of this week, and I'm betting on it only because something's got to change here. The New England Patriots at the Tennessee Titans. I like the Tennessee Titans to win the game because if you watch the first quarter of the Lions game, which I didn't, I just was score watching, it was 14-14. I expect Tennessee to take that ass whooping that they took where everything was just big plays against them and use it to actually win a game. Plus, New England's not good enough to win 2 games in a row. That's a bad football team. They shouldn't have beat the Jets anyways. Give me the Titans on the money line. I like the Titans on the money line.
Hey, Greg's leg was already on the IR before he got there, man.
Yeah, so give me the Titans on the money line. Then the final game, New Orleans Saints at Carolina Panthers. I can't believe the over-under is this high. I know Derek Carr, I think, might be playing, but that still doesn't change anything for me. Give me under 44.5. I don't know how the points – I mean, who's manufacturing points in this game?
Alvin Kamara.
Is he going to score off? Is he going to get to 45 himself? I mean, I don't see it. So give me – and I know that game – I know they scored 40 points on them earlier, but come on. Second game is not going to go that way. So give me –
Panthers just traded their best receiver to the Ravens.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Browns. We got Browns on the money line. Yeah. Bears and Cards over 43.5. Lions and Packers over 46.5. Ravens -9. Titans on the money line. Saints at Panthers under 44.5.
Yep.
You like it, and I love it.
When I like it and you love it, that means it's time for
Lee's 3. Lee's 3. Lee's 3. That was chopped and screwed. All right, so for Lee's 3 this week, man. Hold on, let me get the ticker ready. Man, give me the Cox on the money line. Now, everybody likes to put their cock on the table every now and then, and hopefully it makes you some money.
Yeah.
So give me South Carolina. What else do I like? I like let's go AFC North here. Give me the Browns on the money line. I know Jim Harbaugh is actually coaching his ass off with that team, but they are depleted of weapons. And every NFL blog I see says they should trade for Mike Williams. Nah, I think he should have resigned. He was in the building. And then lastly, but definitely not least, give me a pissed off Ravens -9. I think they kicked the shit out of Bo Nix and those Hicks. And Sean Payton. I just need everybody to know anytime Sean Payton is on the losing side of a bet here, I'm going to take it because I wish bad things on his football teams, no injury. I just wish losses on them. And when they get wins, I hope it builds up to the playoffs, and then they miss the playoffs in the last game of the year, hopefully on the last play of the year, kind of like Caleb Williams lost that game where he went and just like bit off all of his nail polish. Freaky boy. That's League 3 for this week. So we got South Carolina Gamecocks on the money line, Browns on the money line, and the Ravens -9. I don't know what that's going to pay out for you, but you know what? You're going to get some money if you take these picks. Parlay Pete, anything before we get out of here?
I have nothing else. Make sure you guys get out and vote because Nickelodeon, I expect those kids to be at the polls too because that's why they got reported on. And I think you do too.
Yeah, those kids, they like Kamala, and so do we.
Yeah. But use your civic duty and go vote.
Yeah, absolutely. Go
vote. Whether it's for Kennedy, Trump,
Cornel West,
Harris, Cornel West, Kanye, whoever you want. But just make sure you go down and you let your voice be heard.
I'm going to vote for Al Gore.
Hey, look, a couple more of those, and he would have been in office himself. So maybe he needs a few more. Maybe he'll still get in.
All right, man. Clark Millsap for sheriff 2024. We out of here.
All right.